Oh, shit. All right. I am doing this real quick before I get to work. Just woke up or whatever. And of course, Donald Trump won the presidential election for 2024, which I had to be honest with you, I am actually not surprised about that at all. I think that anybody who did like I get the frustration of thinking like, bro, I don't want him to win. Sorry, I'm like messing with my hair and shit. But uh, to be quite honest, I'm coming at it from a different perspective. I think that one of the things that we have to, I think one of the things that we have to kind of understand um, is that to me, I think the biggest thing, anyways, I can't because it's whatever, whatever. Whatever. But I think there's a couple of things to take away about this whole process, and I think the bigger take. This is driving me nuts. Sorry, that was killing me. All right. The bigger thing is this: is that I looked at it from the marketing perspective. Last night I was thinking about it, and there's a couple of things to me, I am a regular ass American. But this is why I think that, quite honestly, if you didn't see how this was going to turn out, you probably weren't looking close enough. Um, One of the things that people need to realize, and the Democrats need to realize, and people just in general need to realize, is that there's a couple of things is that more people are conservative than progressive. Like, so people need to realize that, like, I feel like a lot of leftists and don't really hang out with other peer groups. Like, they don't hang out with it feels like they only hang out with their inner circles. If they know anything about a majority of minority groups, is that a lot of them tend to be culturally and socially conservative. So it always irked me that the Democrats always try to win on a majority of minorities. Like, you're not going to win an election when you're only really reaching the people that you focus on is a majority of the minorities. You're not going to win with that. One of the strategies that I have wondered why they have not really attacked, and this is honestly, everybody keeps talking about, well, what is she going to do for immigrants? What is she going to do for this? That's the problem with the Democrats. To be quite honest, they cannot actually appease everybody. And so, like, when you have white leftists saying you need to go more left, that shows that you as allied up as allies, you guys really don't know other cultures, because culturally, a majority of whether it's black or immigrant countries, a lot of people come from conservative countries. Like, that's just a lot. Like, they bring very conservative ideas. Latinos are very Catholic. You know what I'm saying? Conservative, still, very, you know. So, like, same with there's the same with you could pick a majority of immigrants, and the majority of where our immigrant base is from come from conservative, socially conservative society. Which brings me to my next point. Democrats never reach out to poor whites or rural whites with clear, definitive inroads. Like, they'll campaign there and they may get jobs there, but Democrats suck at messaging. So it doesn't matter if you created jobs in their communities, your messaging is not prevalent or consistent long term enough. You pop up when it's election time to say, "Hey, we did these things," which is great, but all that time, and this is what I'm getting to, all that time, Trump has never stopped campaigning, y'all. Trump has never stopped. This has always been my joke. Trump is like the Grateful Dead, my G. He hasn't stopped. He has done, like, you can say, oh, the numbers are waning. It's only waning because it's closer to the those. This is why the Pac-Mans and the Luke Beasleys and the Vanguard and all of them white boys, I hate to say it like this, white boy leftists, all of the mocking of people not showing up to his rallies and stuff like that. Why do I need to show up when I vote in 2 weeks? He has, they don't need to vote. I mean, they don't need to show up to a rally to vote. They have, the messaging has been the same the entire time. And this is what I'm getting at. Trump, like I said, has been on tour, has nonstop been on tour since 2015, y'all. Trump has done rallies and marketed since 2015. Like, the thing that people like, yes, socially, is he reprehensible? Yes. Is he a bad person? Yes. The one thing that nobody gives him the full credit of is a savviness to know that, one, you meet people where they're at. Two, you don't stop the grind of your messaging. Trump has never stopped stomping on his message. It may be reprehensible, but that's marketing. That's marketing 101. He consistently basically ran ads for his campaign since 2015. And he's been stomping since 2015. He never fucking stopped. Democrats, once the election is over, forget to, like, mind you, them not even really doing a great job of messaging. And this is, I'll say this much. Kamala ran a great race for what it was. Like, the fact that she was, that was as honestly closer than I expected, to be quite honest, because I know America. I remember, if you guys follow, if you know who Kimberly Foster is, she said that that the Democrats need to get rid of Biden. And I said, then who would you replace? And I was like, and she said, Kamala. And I said, I'm not sure that, and this was in her comment section. You can even find my comment in there. And she said, I think there's a pathway for her to win. And I was like, I don't know about the US. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, you have to know, leftists don't understand demos at all. Like, culturally, they struggle with understanding demos and the demographics and how they vote and the psychology behind them. So a lot of the messaging for Democrats, yeah, you may do something good. Yeah, the economy is good. Once again, somebody has been counter messaging for years that it sucked. He's had, honestly, Trump has had 4 years of campaigning of how much the economy sucked and how much the US sucked, and it stuck. It stuck because the actual politicians are working and they're like, we don't need to, don't people see the results? No, people don't see the results like that. It's called creating a narrative. This is what Donald Trump is savvy about. He's good at messaging, keeping it simple, meeting people where they're at. Um, playing off of people's fears. People react more to fear than to joy. So, like, it's just one of those things where and I don't even think that he intentionally did this. It's like, oh, I really think that he kept campaigning because he needed money and he was looking for, he doesn't, to me, Trump doesn't really care about the presidency. He's a narcissist. He cares about himself. This is a win for his ego. Before he even before we even started getting poll results, this dude was already saying that it was rigged. So, like, that tells you, like, where his kinda head was at. Like, he can't even believe that he that he won it. So, like, again, he's always surprised. He's surprised when he wins. So, like, I think that, to me, that's more of the thing, is in the Democrats really need to look at how can one we and have to keep repeating this. You cannot win the United States with a majority of the minorities. She won a majority of minorities votes, but she did not win overall, because even in the minority groups, they're still conservatives. Like I said, there's conservative Muslims that don't want to see no gay shit. There's Latino black folks that don't want to see trans, gay. You have black folks that do not like immigrants, don't want to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? You got the poor white. So the messaging is there. The other thing is that um Democrats need to hit rural and poor white people. They really do need to connect with that group, because that working class is what was that working class white was really a true anchor of the Democratic Party at one point, and now it's not. This shift happened to me when Democrats lost some of their rootsiness and went corporate with Bill Clinton. Once they did that, it kind of opened the floodgates for corporate cronyism type of stuff. So, like, that's just one of the things that I think, we have to kind of acknowledge. And then finally, like, yeah, we have to acknowledge that, you know, that plus, I mean, it, I'm just a regular person, but I do know that there came a point where what 2024 is, this outcome of what the mindset of the American public, they've been striving for since like the 60s Civil Rights Act. Like, since the 60s, to be quite honest. And I'm not a historian, but like, the little bit that I know, I do know that. So there's that. I think that at the end of the day, I think that I I'm gonna be honest with you, most black women that I knew was like, I'm not gonna watch this, because to me, I think that, America has spoken. I think most black women knew what it was. Um, I certainly did. I was not buying. There was a lot of glossing that, was happening in a lot of narratives, and it's one of those things where we have to just be real about it. America's not there. America's not there to vote for a black woman at all. Like, they're just not. And I think that, you know, there was some energy behind the fact that Biden was out, but when the Democrats did this, I knew that it was going to be a very hard battle, and an uphill battle, and I felt like they put a candidate that I totally get why they did it, but in the grand scheme of looking at how a majority of Americans feel about the United States in general, and the way that it's been portrayed, uh, once again, through the campaigning, I just knew that, um, you know, basically, America's a young country, and it's just not there yet. Like, all the people who um, are like, yeah, basically, what I'm saying is America hasn't hit a mass where we feel like we have to be revolutionary. America just said we don't want revolution. America said we don't want none of that. We don't. It's very clear. Even the popular vote went towards Trump, and he don't even stand. Honestly, he don't even stand for none of the conservatives or anything. And that's the other thing. Conservatives, Republicans, they have one message, and it's we don't like shit. And if you don't like this shit, and they gave you a list of shit that you cannot like with them, and people liked it. It was easy. It was the economy sucks, right? You hate paying for shit. Yeah, like as if that's not a, a global thing, you know? But it was easier. And the other thing is it's like we can say that it's a lack of education in the country. We could say that. I mean, that is a part of it, but that's always been a part of the strategy as well. So I don't know. I think a lot of this is like to put it simply, to me, the bigger thing is like one, um, Democrats slash leftists, the idealism, the echo chambers are not going to help you. You need to meet people where they are at, and you need to get back to the working class like severely. Like there, I don't know how a reality TV show billionaire is able to relate better to working class. Well, I just told you how. It's that he gave him an easy list on how to he when they say they're the fuck your feelings crowd, they're anything but. People literally based votes on their feelings last night. Like feelings is a huge thing, G. That was not policy voting. Most people who voted last night, honestly, probably don't give a shit about policy. They have no clue what's in store for them with this administration. So like it's just one of those things where you kind of have to realize that the United States is not there. It's the United States is a young country, and the ideology of individualism, um, and the selling of the possibility of wealth, and the like. Here's essentially what you have to realize. This is what I realized. I was like, dude, last night I was thinking about it. I was like, what would make? I saw. I'm not even front. I saw all different types of demographics voting for Trump, even the ones that they were dissed, even the, you know what I'm saying? And you also have to look at the fact that they Republicans won down ballot. Like they won a lot last night. So once again, that's telling that this is Americans don't want progressivism. Like truly progressivism. A lot of progressive ballot items on ballots lost. So either they don't want it or they don't understand it. And those are the two things that people need to realize. Like, sorry, I'm rambling, but there's just this is the other thing. This is so much more nuanced than like I can already tell you what leftists are gonna say. Like, oh, it should have been Bernie. Like, dog, get over it. Oh well, she wasn't even a good candidate. Yeah, yeah, your true colors are showing. Like, I mean, you know, a lot of, and honestly, I got to be honest with you, it's a lot of white leftists. A lot of y'all culturally do not get it. Y'all just don't get it. Y'all think y'all actually have the same mentality as like Trump people, but it's just left, and you think that you're not as bad because you don't wear a hat or a t-shirt to show it. But you're just you're right about there. Because honestly, if that were the case, y'all would be converting the people that you know, and you're not. Like all of like that's the other thing too, is all of these um like leftist media. What's funny about it is that like where's the diversity in their own, like they don't have any perspective. Like they don't get that, like, oh well, why would they vote against their interests? Because they don't. you think that they're voting against their interests, and that's not what it is. They're voting for their feelings and beliefs. They're actually, most Americans don't even fully get how this works, you know? And the other thing is like the whole trash people, or the whole, all of that type of stuff. I think that that's just it's whatever, but at the end of the day, I still go back to, like, Democrats cannot win with, um they're not gonna win with anything until they can get to the core of who they need to reach, how they need to reach them, and consistent messaging. And as a marketing person, that's one of the things, like I said, Trump consistently has kept a simple message and has just been saying it repeatedly. And people make fun of the stickers, the flags, the hats, that's marketing, bro. That's marketing, that's merch. Like, and it's a signal. And it became the signal for a lot of different things. And he just accumulated all of those little things into one large thing. He already had the basic, but he did enough to pull certain things. And like I said, you're not going to win an election with a majority of minorities. That's not going to happen. That's not even where our numbers are at. And it's delusional thinking about the Democrats. And to be quite honest, if they don't make any inroads with rural, with um, poor and working class white people, then the Democrats are in for a very long road of this. It's just not now. Who do I think they should get for the next election? Bashir. If they can get Bashir to run for president, I think that he would be an absolute shoe in. And I think that he would reach those people that they weren't able to. The other thing is that um, yeah, I think those are, to me, the bigger points about it. And like I said, it'll take a little bit more nuance, but at the end of the day, I don't think Kamala ran a bad race. I think that the Democrats had poor strategy from jump. I couldn't believe that they were letting Biden run. But I also think that they did that because they knew the constituency at Demos, and they didn't have another person that would be willing to run for president. And I truly believe that. I don't think that they have, honestly, a candidate that they feel like will fully work. And I also believe that the Democratic Party probably thought that, like, if we put Kamala up here and she does fail, then that kind of, we have an excuse as to why. Whereas, you know, if they had started with a whole completely different candidate in the first, and from jump, if they had actually held primaries, then I think they actually, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think that the Democrats are gonna win this election. There is just no, I'm sorry, I didn't think it. I honestly was trying to be optimistic to make other people comfortable, but there was just something in the water where I was like, no, like, the messaging is not reaching where it needs to reach. And whenever I'm telling you, when white leftists get too excited, I'm like, oh, this is not good. Like, so, those are my takeaways. What do y'all think? That's what I think. I think um, a lot of this was not going to go well. Um, what do I see for 2024 to 2028? I don't know. I don't know. I think that, if anything were to happen, evolve or change, then it would have to be at a grassroots level. I think that, once again, you need to go to the working class, and the poverty stricken people, um, and um, I think that Democrats need to campaign immediately. Like the new campaign starts today. It should. Um, and at the core of it, I essentially think that this is the growing pains of the United States because it's a young country. And I hate to say it like this, we haven't had our fascists yet. So hopefully this allows for like I would like to see a lot. Like to see a lot stronger um, inroads into work reform, and I think that's where the Democrats need to head. I think that you can't rely on um, you can't rely on um, for a lack of a better term, but like identity politics or anything like that for the win. Like that works if you have the majority identity, which Republicans do, but that doesn't work if you don't, you know. And so like I think that's where it's at. Do I think that we're about to bump into some really messed up shit? Yeah, we are. I mean, we are. But this wouldn't be the first time with the United States. And honestly, I think this will build our resilience, and I think it should make a pathway for a different perspective because we got to do something different. And honestly, like I watch a lot of like I said, I watch a lot of like see a lot of leftists. This is my note to y'all. Y'all need to start talking to real people. Stop talking to your friends. All y'all do is debate and talk to your friends, and you create an echo chamber. And it's a very small chamber. The United States is not that progressive. And you need to realize that you need to work and meet with people at where they're at and stop calling them, you know, dumb. Like, and oh, they're, throwaways. I've seen so many leftists like, oh, I don't talk to my family. I don't want to. And it's like, all right, well, like, you can, presume that you're smarter than them. That's fine. But at the end of the day, that means absolutely nothing. To be quite honest, nobody cares that you're the smartest person in a room or, you know, m- that stuff does not matter. And the other thing is that it shows that like people can get past apparently people can get past a lot of messed up stuff, gaffes. They don't care. They don't care. Their feelings and belief systems and who do they think can do what they think, and that's who people voted for. Um and so yeah, like I said, not surprising at all. I kind of expected this. I kind of expected this once um Biden dropped out because once again it was a lot of far left people screaming that and saying we shouldn't do this and this is the better option. I hate to be a cynic, but I was like, I don't think regardless like I just saw I just saw it. I just saw it. I just saw it. I just saw it. Nobody like here's the other thing too. Like if and this goes back to his Trump savviness about understanding how the media is so pathetic. Like he got that right. The media, it really is pathetic. And he's right. Corporate news is very all they care about is ratings, and he knows how to give it to them for real. Like he knows how to give it to them. So even like he had Epstein tapes come out this week. He had Epstein tapes, and nobody cared. Nobody cared. Be He's a conduit to what I want. I do not care about that. That's how they look at it. They don't look at like that he has terrible character. They don't care. So yeah, I this is not unsurprising to me. I kind of knew this was in the works because it just it just didn't feel like it didn't feel real. Those polls were too high. It didn't feel real to me. It felt like, we gonna wake up and we gonna know that the America that I know, that I've been driving through rural Illinois as, where I still see Trump shit up consistently, even though it's a blue state. No, the inroads are not strong enough. Like that working middle class white, more. And I know people are like, and there was that I'm trying to stop talking. I'm gonna wrap this up now, but that was the other thing that just kept blowing me about the. It was like, what you gonna do for black men? What you going? And I'm sitting here thinking, bro, and this is fucked up for me to say this. e- Voting number wise, just being real. Voting number wise, black people did their thing, but black people are of 12% of this nation. And I think, like, you have to that's like, I'm just saying, like, if you're trying to win, you gonna need some white boys, bro. Like, you need white boys. I don't know what to tell you. And the you know, you have to reach those people. And when it became like when it became clear what it was like, nah, this ain't gonna work. This ain't this ain't gonna work at all. So, um, and so yeah, I think that that's basically it. Where do people need to? What do people need to do now? Well, if you're pissed off about what's happening, then either start dedicating your time to different programs that will help or support the things that you care about. I would say that would be the biggest thing. I would look at like grassroots efforts, local elections, local people that are really galvanizing different groups, um, and really look into that. But I also think that, um, you know, at the end of the day, the majority does not have progressive ideals. And I think we need to take a long look at why. Um, because people keep saying vote for policy, and people are not voting for policy at all. People vote on emotion and ideology. And the sooner people learn that, the better. But yeah, that's basically it. Those are my thoughts. Um, it's not the end of the world. Um, like this is, you know, this is you just work on strategy and dust yourself off and try again, and find new candidates, and find language and that can resonate with people, everyday people. Make inroads to evangelical Christian communities that have become um, you know influenced by white supremacy. And that's the other thing, is that's the big elephant in the room in the United States. We're not over racism at all, not even close to it. Not even, you know, the xenophobia within each group helped helped Trump win, to be quite honest. Because like I said, pick out what you don't like. I don't like them motherfuckers either. Let's ride. That's essentially how that went. So yeah, Election 2024. I'm gonna start doing these though, bro. Like, cause like I watched so much terrible election shit. Like, I watch a lot of like leftist tube and stuff like that, and a lot of times they usually get on my nerves. Except for Emma and from Minority Report um and Olay. Those are like the only two I can like stomach. Even though Emma was wrong, way wrong, and I had a feeling that that was the case. I just no. Anytime, anytime, yeah. I'm just gonna say this. I was a little bit more tempered by. Let's just say I understood Olay a little bit more. If you haven't watched her Olay and Chill with Emma, the buddies from the Vanguard. Go watch that because that also gave me pause and made me realize, like, yeah, that's it's not happening. If we can't even get the leftist white males to understand what is going on, and them just being like policy, 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 needs policy, and they were just like, man, you need a better Republican. It's just like, all right, so you guys actually don't get what's happening. Like you're kind of talking out your ass, like I am. That's what I'm doing now. But mine is based on like being around everyday people. And this is the other thing too. Like y'all leftists, y'all cut off so much that y'all don't even really get to really fully take the temperature of people. So that is all I got. I will be back with more just, regular ass American G. I'm just a regular ass American. This is what I see. And we'll talk more about it.